Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're really getting into a book that's made huge waves for a lot of people thinking about money. It's Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki.
Mm-hmm. And we're specifically looking at a summary you brought, which really highlights the core ideas.
Exactly. And the whole thing is built around this stark contrast, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. You've got Kiyosaki's actual dad, the poor dad, highly educated, well-respected, but, always seemed to struggle with money.
Right. And then there's the rich dad, his friend's father. Less formal schooling, but incredibly wealthy.
That's the setup.
So our goal here is to unpack what the summary lays out, the key lessons, and maybe more importantly, the mindset shifts that come from comparing these two figures.
We want to help you listening understand those fundamental differences in how they approached money, because that's really the foundation, according to the summary, these different ways of thinking.
It's not just a how-to guide, it's about thinking differently.
Precisely. It's a perspective shift.
Okay, let's dive in. The very first principle the summary hits on is, well, it's pretty radical for many. The rich don't work for money.
Yeah, that one stops people. Because most of us, we're raised on the poor dad model described in the summary. Get good grades, find a safe job, climb the ladder, get that steady paycheck.
That's the standard path.
It is.
Yeah.
But the rich dad perspective flips that. It teaches that the wealthy make money work for them.
Okay. Work for them? How?
Well, the summary emphasizes it's less about chasing the next pay rise and more about chasing opportunities to learn about money, financial knowledge, and then using that knowledge to build assets, things that generate income on their own.
So earn and to learn, then build something that earns for you. How do we make that mental leap? It sounds simple, but feels huge.
Maybe think of it like this, based on the summary's ideas. The usual way of working for money, it's like hauling buckets of water every day. You work, you get paid, you stop working, the money stops. Like the water.
Okay, I'm with you. Bucket hauling.
The rich dad way is more like spending the time and effort, maybe taking more initial risk, to build a pipeline. It takes different financial skills, not just job skills.
Right.
But once that pipeline, your asset base, is built, the money flows, whether you're actively hauling buckets or not. It's about building the pipeline.
That pipeline analogy. Yeah, that really clicks. And it leads straight into the next point, which the summary flags is super important. Financial literacy, principle number 2.
Absolutely critical. Because the insight here is it's not just about how much you make, it's about how much you keep, and crucially, how you make that kept money grow.
And this is where that asset versus liability distinction comes in, right?
Exactly. And the summary keeps the definitions very focused and simple. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. End of story based on this source.
Okay, let's use an example then, sticking only to that definition. If I buy, say, a rental property, and after all the expenses, mortgage, taxes, upkeep, I'm netting positive cash flow each month.
Then according to that specific definition in the summary, the property is functioning as an asset. It's putting money in your pocket.
Got it. But my own house, the one I live in, I pay the mortgage, taxes, insurance, repairs. Money's only going out.
So based purely on that source definition again, it functions as a liability. It's taking money out. The key lesson the summary pushes is the wealthy focus on acquiring assets, things that generate income.
While many others acquire liabilities, maybe even thinking they're assets, like sometimes the primary residence.
That's the core aha moment the book aims for, according to the summary.
Wow. Okay, that's a big reframing. Principle 3 then. Mind your own business. What does that mean in practical terms? The summary says it doesn't mean quit your job tomorrow.
No, not necessarily. It's more like use your job to pay the bills, cover your living expenses. But, and this is the key, focus your extra time, energy, and resources on building your asset column.
Your own business, meaning your collection of assets.
Exactly. It's about actively acquiring things that fit that asset definition. The summary gives examples. Income-generating real estate, stocks, bonds, maybe intellectual property like royalties, or even building your own side business.
So your main job pays the bills, but your focus for wealth building is on these other things you own.
Precisely. You're building your financial foundation, not just working to build someone else's company or make someone else rich. It's about building your business, your assets.
Okay, now this next one, principle 4, often feels maybe a bit controversial. Understanding taxes and corporations.
Yeah, this one can get people talking.
Yeah.
The summary's angle is that the wealthy understand and use legal structures, like corporations, to their advantage,
Yeah.
potentially to legally minimize taxes and protect their income.
So this isn't about shady dealings.
No, the summary is clear on that. It's not about illegal loopholes. It's about financial intelligence, understanding the actual tax laws, and how they often incentivize certain activities, like investing and business building.
So the system itself offers advantages if you know the rules.
That's the idea presented. The wealthy learn the rules of the game, the legal rules, and use them strategically. It's about leveraging knowledge of the system.
Knowledge is power, literally in this case.
Seems to be the point.
Principle 5. The rich invent money. This sounds almost magical. What does the summary mean by that?
It's less magic, more mindset and skill, I think. The idea is that opportunities aren't just lying around waiting to be found. Sometimes they need to be created by spotting needs, solving problems, putting deals together. It takes financial education, sure, but also creativity, confidence, maybe seeing value where others don't.
So it's proactive, not just reacting to the market, but shaping opportunities.
Kind of. And it involves taking calculated risks. Not being reckless, but understanding risk, managing it, and seeing the potential reward. It's about developing that ability to spot or make opportunities happen.
Okay, that's a powerful concept. Moving to number 6. Work to learn, don't work for money. This feels really relevant for, well, everyone working.
It's a big shift in perspective on your career. The advice isn't just chase the highest salary. It's prioritize jobs or roles where you can gain valuable skills, even if the pay isn't the absolute top initially.
What kind of skills are we talking about?
The summary highlights specific ones: sales, marketing, communication, negotiation, leadership, managing people and systems. Broad business skills, really.
Not just technical expertise in one narrow field.
Right. The argument is that these broader skills are often more crucial for building long-term wealth and independence because they're transferable. They let you build systems, lead teams, sell ideas.
So view your job as a learning ground, an investment in your skill set.
Exactly. Become more versatile, more adaptable. That's where real financial strength comes from, according to this perspective. Invest in yourself.
Makes sense. Now, the path isn't always smooth. Principle 7 tackles the hurdles, overcoming obstacles. The summary lists some specific internal ones.
Yeah, these are the biggies, the things that hold people back internally. It lists 5 main ones.
Okay, what are they?
Fear, especially the fear of losing money. Cynicism that it won't work, it's impossible, the system's rigged attitude. Laziness, just, inertia, not taking action even when you know you should.
Common ones. What else?
Bad habits like spending everything you earn, not saving or investing consistently. And finally, arrogance, thinking you already know everything and closing yourself off to learning more.
Wow. Fear stops you starting. Cynicism stops you believing. Laziness stops you acting. Bad habits drain your resources. And arrogance stops you growing.
You nailed it.
Right.
The point is, financial smarts aren't enough if these internal barriers are in the way. You have to consciously work on overcoming them.
That's quite the list of inner demons to conquer. So given all these principles and potential pitfalls, how does the summary suggest someone actually starts?
It lays out some practical action steps, kind of a roadmap to get going.
Okay, let's hear them.
First, find a strong reason why you want financial freedom, something bigger than just wanting more stuff, a deep motivation.
Your why. Got it.
Second, choose your friends carefully. Surround yourself with people who are also learning and growing financially, people who support your goals.
Makes sense. Who you associate with matters.
Third, master one strategy, one formula, maybe real estate rentals, maybe stock investing. Learn it well, then learn another. Keep learning.
Continuous learning. Crucial.
Fourth, and this is classic rich dad, pay yourself first. Before you pay bills, allocate money to your asset column. Make investing a priority bill.
Discipline. And fifth,
learn to give. Cultivate generosity. The summary suggests this fosters an abundance mindset, which is key.
So it's mindset, environment, learning, discipline, and even generosity. It's a whole package.
It really is. And underpinning all that is the need for ongoing education books, seminars, finding mentors. But crucially, the summary stresses, knowledge isn't enough. You have to act.
Take steps. Make offers. Start building that asset column.
Exactly. Start small if you need to, but be consistent. Be disciplined. Stay curious. Take action. That's how wealth starts, according to the summary applying the knowledge.
So looking back at the whole summary, the final thought seems to be that Rich Dad, Poor Dad isn't really an investment manual telling you what to buy.
No, not specifically. It's more about changing your fundamental mindset about money, work, and wealth.
Learning how the rich think and act differently.
That seems to be the core takeaway from the summary. Focusing on assets, building financial literacy, taking control, understanding the system, aiming for financial independence, not just job security.
It's about fundamentally changing your approach to the whole earn and spend cycle.
Yeah, breaking out of what Kiyosaki calls the rat race by understanding and applying these different principles. It's a challenge to the conventional path.
So, reflecting on everything we've pulled from this summary, the two dads, the focus on assets, literacy, minding your own business, learning skills, tackling fear. If wealth really does start with mindset and action, not just income, what's maybe one small thing, one initial step you listening could take, starting today, to begin shifting your own thinking or taking a concrete action based on these ideas?